Somewhere in the Arizona desert, where the soil is dust, the sun is merciless, and water is everything, there is a farm the size of a small city. It is lush. It is green. It is thriving. It is not feeding you. That alfalfa, thousands of acres of it, will be baled, packed, and loaded onto a cargo ship. It will travel thousands of miles across the Pacific, and it will end up feeding dairy cows in Saudi Arabia. The water that grew it? That came from your aquifer, pumped out of Arizona's earth for free by a foreign corporation. No meter, no fee, no limit. While American families in the same county were told to cut back, to conserve, to ration, a foreign government-linked company was draining your future one bale at a time. This is the Blue Gold Heist. Here's how the loophole works and why it was almost invisible for a decade. In the United States, water rights are often tied directly to land. Buy the land, and in many Western states, you inherit access to the water beneath it. No separate license. No cap on how much you pump. No requirement to even measure it. A Saudi company called Fondamonte, a subsidiary of Almarai, one of the world's largest dairy conglomerates, figured this out around 2014. Saudi Arabia had already banned domestic production of water-hungry crops to protect its own aquifers. So instead, they bought access to ours. They leased state trust land in Arizona's Butler Valley, a basin. The state had quietly designated as a groundwater reserve for Phoenix and Tucson's future water needs, and they paid below market rates. Then they pumped and pumped and pumped. State records later revealed that Fondamonte pulled an estimated 16,000 to 18,000 acre-feet of groundwater per year from Butler Valley alone. That's nearly 6 billion gallons of Arizona water converted into hay and exported overseas every single year. And until investigative reporters started asking questions, Arizona wasn't even tracking it. The loophole wasn't an accident. It was the system working exactly as designed for an era when no one imagined a foreign sovereign wealth operation would exploit it at industrial scale. Now meet the second front of this war, the one wearing a suit. In December 2020, CME Group, the same exchange where traders bet on oil, gold, and wheat, launched a new futures contract. The ticker was H2O. They were trading water. Specifically, they were trading the Nasdaq Vel's California Water Index, a benchmark tracking the price of water rights across California's biggest markets. Investors could now buy and sell standardized contracts tied directly to water scarcity. 10 acre-feet per contract. Cash settled. No water changes hands. The pitch was risk management, a tool for farmers and utilities to hedge against drought. And for some, that's exactly what it is. But here's what the brochure doesn't advertise. When drought gets worse, these bets get more profitable. Hedge funds, commodity desks, institutional investors. They can now take positions that pay out precisely when American communities are suffering most, when reservoirs drop, when wells dry, when cities issue emergency restrictions. Water, which for most of human history was a public commons and a human right, has been transformed into a volatility asset, a thing you profit from by betting on its scarcity. California teachers' unions called it what it is, hedge funds betting on drought. And it is only growing because the droughts are only getting worse. Let's come back down to earth, literally, in La Paz County, Arizona. A rural stretch of desert that most Americans couldn't find on a map, something has been happening quietly for years. Wells that families relied on for generations are going dry. Foundations are cracking. The ground itself is sinking as much as 2 inches per year in what hydrologists call subsidence. State water officials have linked these changes directly to industrial-scale pumping by large agricultural operations, including Fondamonte. In the Renegras Plain Basin, water levels in parts of the county have dropped more than 200 feet over 4 decades. In January 2026, Arizona finally stepped in, designating the Renegras Plain as a new active management area, meaning, for the first time, large wells will have to report what they're taking and adhere to reduction plans. The problem? The water that was already taken. The billions of gallons already pumped, already shipped, already consumed by Saudi dairy herds, that water is gone. Permanently. Aquifer recharge in that basin runs at about 2,000 acre-feet per year. Industrial pumping was running at 40,000. That is not a gap, that is a crater. And when we talk about ghost towns, we're not being dramatic. We're talking about communities where the foundational resource for human habitation, water, is being systematically, legally, and profitably removed. The people don't leave all at once. They leave quietly, one dry well at a time. Step back. See the bigger picture. Saudi Arabia didn't ban its own domestic water use out of carelessness. It was a strategic calculation. Preserve our aquifer, consume someone else's. They exported their water scarcity to Arizona. And Arizona's laws, written in a different era, for a different world, let them do it. This is what geo-economic warfare looks like in the 21st century. It doesn't announce itself with missiles. It arrives in the form of an LLC, a land lease, and a row of center pivot irrigators spinning quietly in the desert. Control a nation's water and you control its food. Control its food and you hold leverage over everything. Over its cities, its population, its political stability. History has shown this again and again. The only difference today is that the mechanism is a subsidiary registered in Delaware. Consider, the Colorado River supplies water to 40 million Americans across 7 states. Agriculture, much of it growing feed for export markets, consumes roughly 74% of its flow. Cattle feed crops alone drink 1/3 of the entire river. Lake Mead is in structural decline. Cities like Phoenix and Las Vegas are already operating under shortage declarations. And embedded in that crisis, drawing from those same overtaxed aquifers and overtapped rivers, are foreign-linked farm shipping that embedded water overseas in the form of hay, beef, and dairy. This is not a conspiracy theory. These are federal datasets, state audits, and peer-reviewed hydrology. This is resource extraction dressed up as agriculture. Arizona has started fighting back. New management areas. Canceled leases. A lawsuit. New state laws in Idaho, Indiana, and Utah are treating water rights as strategic national assets for the first time. But the crisis didn't wait for the legislation. Billions of gallons are already gone. Aquifers that took centuries to fill have been drawn down in decades. And on Wall Street, someone is positioned to profit from the next drought. The next war over resources isn't a future scenario. It's already here. And right now, it's flowing right out of your faucet.